Hello, everybody. Scott Golden here with the AEW Dark Elevation review for the 19th of April 2021. Good things on this show, there were some. My version of good and most people's version of good are different. Still, 14 matches is way too many, and the show runs way too long. They could easily cut this down to 7 or 8 matches on a Monday night and 7 or 8 on a Tuesday night and do just as much good. Anyway, um, Hangman Page defeats Spencer Slade in just over 1 1/4 minutes. Slade, Born Death, wears headgear and hearing aids. Page nails him with a fallaway slam and some lariats in the corner. Pop up powerbomb and a cradle. Page gets the win. Cool story behind the hearing impaired individual. To be honest, I used to work with a referee who was deaf. It was an interesting experience to say the least. I hope that AEW does something with the story. I think that would be good for PR if he is good enough to even be signed from a developmental standpoint and then get a story behind it. I think it's a unique angle. Britt Baker with Rebel defeats Tasha Price. Match was not good. Baker outclassed her. They were not on the same page for the majority of the match. Baker hits DDT, hits an air raid crash to follow up. Baker goes right into lockjaw, gets the pin for the win. Jurassic Express then defeats Midas Black and Jay Lyon in just under 2 minutes. Comedy Squash, Lion and Black are team. They do a circus lion tamer gimmick. It's kind of fun. I don't know that it belongs on national TV or even national YouTube in terms of related to a national company, that is. Obviously, everyone knows that YouTube is worldwide. But match with Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus seemed kind of natural with the gimmick. Anyway, Lion has some uh, kind of uh, steak or something hanging out of his mouth. Jungle Boy pins Lion's and Black in a pile after Fireman's Carry slams. Hybrid 2, very Morales and Andre Montoya. First match that really didn't need to happen at all. Hybrid 2 are a team that they could let go of. Actually, I'd like them to keep Angelico, but Jack Evans, honestly, Eminem called he wants 2001 back. Angelico, he does do really unique submissions. I think they could do more with him as a single. Dominates Morales and twisted him into a pretzel. Evans hits a twisting body press on Morales on the floor, and Angelico gets a submission on Montana with the death roll for the win. Um, in character interview as Paul Wright interviews the Acclaimed, and they joke about getting signed in 2020, which is the worst year ever. Interview shifted to a sincere tone. Bowens is openly gay wrestler, which I think they should do more with. Homosexuality for its uh, pluses and minuses is still a social issue, and I think there's a way to tell that story in a wrestling context, you know, in a unique way that would get people talking artistically in a different way than they ever have before. So anyway, he says he's been wrestling for 8 years, but feels like this is an incredible opportunity. He's taken advantage of, despite a lot of times living in fear over whether he'd be accepted or not. He has been in AEW. Actually, this segment did more to make me care about Bowens, who was a guy I didn't care about until this point. So good for them. Bowens is recovering from his torn meniscus. He reestablished himself as equal to Caster with the great promo. Caster stealing the show so they could definitely have a good run upon the return as a team, and I would support that. Brian Cage and Ricky Starks defeats Mike Magnum and Stone Rockwell in 3 1/4 minutes. Cage does a leapfrog into a drop down, into a drop kick sequence. Don't understand this. Doesn't make psychological sense. Miscommunication between Starks and Cage. They overcome it. Cage helps Starks, and then Starks hits the Rochambeau, gets the win. I mean, at this point, I'd be blowing off into a feud here. Anyway, Abaddon defeats Sky Blue in just under 3 minutes. Abaddon spitting up blood on her way to the ring. That's a horrible thing. Just as a gimmick, I don't like it. Crowd chanted, Abaddon's gonna kill you. She hits a Uranagi into a backbreaker. Blue hits a handspring elbow, but didn't know how to follow up. And then Abaddon destroys her. Blue mounts a comeback and gets crotched in the ropes. Abaddon finishes her with the cemetery drive. And then we go to Orange Cassidy defeats Prince Kai in 6 seconds. Hands the referee a card. And then Kai bashed in the glory in the ring for too long and runs right into the beat break for the quick record-setting win. Don't really understand this. So, Private Party with Matt Hardy defeats Alex Reynolds and Colt Cabana with -1 and the rest of the Dark Order in 8:23. Why is this match so god dang long? Also, Private Party still don't get it. I get them as hipster tri-state area indie guys. I do not get them as credible in a national promotion. Anyway, -1 is recording more footage for Sammy Guevara's vlog. Private Party starts the match, jumps Reynolds from behind. Reynolds comes back with a drop kick, sends Isaiah Cassidy to the floor. Cassidy gets into it with the rest of the Dark Order. Referee Mark Posey sends him to the back. Hardy remains at ringside. Reynolds hits Quinn with a clothesline to the floor, follows up with a tope dive to the outside. Hardy throws Reynolds into the barricade. Cassidy hits Reynolds with a moonsault to the floor. Cassidy gets a near fall and a vertical suplex. Reynolds lands a knee on Cassidy, tags in Cabana, who owns Quinn for a while. Big splash on Quinn. Cabana gets a 2 count, comes back. One of the Private Party come back with a 450 splash on Cabana. For near fall, Cabana and Reynolds hit a attempted finish on Quinn, but he's not the legal man. Cassidy's legal, rolls up, confused Cabana for the win. What a waste of Alex Reynolds and Colt Cabana. Both are better than either of Private Party, except if you like the boing 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 pogo stick spotty style. Anyway, Thunder Rosa defeats Shauna Reed in just over 4.25 minutes. Rosa wins with a Fire Thunder driver. That's all there really is to the match. Rosa's dominant and one of the best women in the company. Best Friends with Orange Cassidy defeats Hayden, Backlund, and Kit Circuit in just under 2 minutes. Trent hits a lariat on Backlund, follows up with a Solto suplex. Best Friends hit Soul Food and finish off Backlund with a package piledriver. And then a regular piledriver from Trent. Post-match, group hug Best Friends. Could have done without this. Didn't need to be there. With the show already running long, Leah Hirsch and Ryo Mizunami defeat Nyla Rose and Maddie Wedlowski with Vicky Guerrero. Rose is about to get the pin on Mizunami. Wedlowski gets blind tag. Ref breaks up the pin attempt. Wedlowski didn't get the win and wound up on the wrong end of a slugfest. And Mizunami gets chopped back in the corner. Power slam for Mizunami. And then there's assisted senton from Hirsch getting a near fall. Rosa breaks up, and Rose and Wedlowski hit a double suplex, and Hirsch and Rozalowski hit a facebuster. Hirsch gets a cross arm breaker for the quick tap out. Anyway, Austin Gunn with Colton defeats Aaron Solo with QT Marshall and Nick Canelaro in 4.25 minutes. Nightmare Family versus Factory. And we've got a feud that doesn't need to happen. Marshall uses the stairs, and there's nothing like seeing Canelaro at ringside after, kind of watching him get a push, and then they pulled back on it. It's stupid. Canelaro distracts Austin from the floor. Solo hits him with an enziguri for the near fall. Austin counters Solo's pile driver. Quick draw for the win. And then we go to Scorpio Sky and Ethan Page, a team I like, defeating Dean Alexander and Carly Bravo, a team that doesn't matter. Does this match really need to be here? Not this late in the show. Page hits Bravo with a running tackle on the floor, taking him out. Sky hits a head hook on Alexander for the win. Post-match, Page hits the Ego's Edge on Bravo just for fun. This third win as a team for them. Dasha interviews Austin Gunn, interrupted by Billy Gunn and QT Marshall. There's an angle between guys whose combined age is almost 90 on Elevation, which is supposed to be for young talent. Marshall lays out Gunn. No one cared. Speaking of no one cared, AEW World Champion Kenny Omega, Takahashi, and Nakazawa defeat Matt and Mike Sydal and Danny Limelight in 13:05. Some people like this sort of match. I don't. Kenny Omega is the world champion of the second biggest company in the U.S., maybe the third biggest in the world behind New Japan, fourth biggest if you count Mexico, but definitely top four companies in the world, and he's in a throwaway match on a YouTube show. Why? Anyway, Omega and Nakazawa aren't getting along. Takahashi brings out chemistry in the team. Matt Sydal ends up in trouble with Omega. Their singles match was much better than this. Matt counters with a knee to the head. Limelight and Takahashi each get tags and have a really good exchange. Limelight hits top rope blockbuster for a near fall. Takahashi counters with a sit-out powerbomb for a near fall. Kudo Crusher from Omega and Lariat from Takahashi on Limelight only gets Omega hitting a Snapdragon. Limelight gets out of it and fights his way out of the One-Winged Angel. Matt comes out with a Meteora. Off the top, Limelight flies in, hits Tornado DDT for near fall on Omega. Mike gets tagged and immediately Snapdragon out of his boots. Takahashi gets tagged and hit a running boot and a corner and a brainbuster for another 2 count. Mike comes back with a roll-up and a kick and goes into Nakazawa crouching himself. Takahashi hits a juice box and finished off Mike with a German suplex. Bridge for a 3 count. Some people say this match was very good. To me, it's a cluster mess. Another sign of the over-signing of too many talents. In any event, hopefully you enjoyed this review. Hopefully, if you are new here, also please go check out my main channel, Golden Opportunities Coaching. If you're looking for life, relationship, or business coaching, would love to be of service to you there. In any event, keep your feet on the ground, your mind in the moment. Till next time, everybody.